look at the pattern of Bitcoin after a halving. The halving is where, just for folks that don't know, the way that Bitcoins are created is by solving these complex mathematical algorithms that take a lot of time and energy and money. And when you solve it, you get rewarded with some number of Bitcoin. And roughly every 4 years, that reward gets cut in half. It's called a halving.
Wait a minute, everyone. We all agree that the crypto market never sleeps, but with countless newsletters out there, how do you choose the best one for you? Bitcoinzilla stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoinzilla today and enjoy the new edge. In today's video, Chamath Palihapitiya talks about the Bitcoin halving events and shares some important data about the last 3 halving cycles and how they affected the Bitcoin price. Chamath also gives us what we can expect on the previous halving in April, and what will Bitcoin do on the coming months. So without wasting any time, let's dive into the video.
This week, I saw somebody who reminded me all of this, and I just want to give this guy a proper shout out. So his name is Wences Casares, and Wences in Silicon Valley, I would say, really was agent zero of Bitcoin. He was the one in 2010 that introduced it to me. I remember he reminded me of the story, actually. We were at Oren's Hummus, and he's like, he's Argentinian, he's a Greek, so I'm going to try to copy. He's like, Chamath, you need to buy the Bitcoin. So I heard the story. I fell in love with it. I remember I called my family office. I'm like, buy me 1 million of these things. And he was like, or $1 million worth. And he was like, are you crazy? And I was like, no, this is just a little appetizer. We'll get to the main course. Anyways, he has done a phenomenal job of understanding and proselytizing Bitcoin. And I want to thank him because he really put me onto this. But he mentioned something to me when I saw him a couple of days ago, which is you should really look at the pattern of Bitcoin after a halving. And so I was really curious. And so I had a guy on my team, Quentin, put this together. So Nick, let's go to the first page. So why is this interesting? So here's a little Bitcoin price analysis for you guys. So there's been a couple of halving cycles that have happened. And I asked him to go back and look at the price performance 1 month after a halving, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, and 18 months after a halving. And what you notice is that there are these moments initially where essentially when you go through a Bitcoin halving, people are sort of reassessing what's happening and they're trying to figure it out. That's sort of what I would say happens in the first month and roughly what also happens in the first 3 months. But then within 6 months to a year and 18 months of these things, there are these crazy price appreciation cycles that happen. So that's what this page shows, which is, 18 months after the first halving, the Bitcoin price returned 45x. After the second halving, it returned almost 28x. And after this third halving, it returned almost an 8x, which is really incredible returns in such a short period of time.
On Monday, NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden once again expressed his support for Bitcoin BTC. Snowden's statement came in the wake of a significant market disruption that saw Berkshire Hathaway shares plummet by 99% due to a technical glitch on the New York Stock Exchange, NYSE. This incident has reignited discussions about the robustness and reliability of traditional financial systems versus decentralized alternatives. Among the affected securities, shares of Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's storied investment company, and Barrick Gold, a major mining group, experienced dramatic and erroneous declines of around 99% in value. Berkshire Hathaway shares, which typically traded more than $622,000, dropped precipitously to just $185 due to the glitch. This erroneous pricing was later corrected. In response to this event, Edward Snowden took X, simply stating, "Bitcoin fixes this." Snowden's terse comment underscores his belief in the advantages of decentralized financial systems over traditional, centralized exchanges. Bitcoin, as a decentralized digital currency, operates on a peer-to-peer network without a central authority. This structure contrasts sharply with traditional stock exchanges, where centralized control can lead to systemic risks, such as those demonstrated by the recent NYC glitch. The design of Bitcoin aims to ensure transparency, immutability, and security, reducing the potential for such catastrophic failures due to technical issues or centralized errors. Snowden's endorsement of Bitcoin in this context highlights the cryptocurrency's resilience against the vulnerabilities that can plague traditional financial systems. By pointing out that Bitcoin fixes this, Snowden implies that BTC's decentralized nature could potentially prevent similar disruptions in the financial system, offering a more reliable alternative to traditional trading platforms. Notably, Bitcoin boasts an uptime of 99.989% since its inception. This remarkable level of reliability is a testament to the robustness of its underlying blockchain technology. There have been only 2 incidents in BTC's early days, the first in 2010, known as the value overflow incident, where a bug created billions of BTC out of thin air, and the second in 2013, involving a temporary blockchain fork caused by an incompatible software upgrade. Both incidents were swiftly addressed by the core developers, reinforcing Bitcoin's resilience.
If you go to the next page. And so if you graph that, this is what it starts to show, which is what is this price performance after each of these halving cycles. Now, why is that interesting? Well, it's interesting because on top of this halving, which theoretically, if history is a guide, we should see some price appreciation. Obviously, the other thing that's happened is we've commercialized Bitcoin, and we talked about this sort of as my big prediction for 2024, which is these ETFs are really going to allow Bitcoin to cross the chasm and have its sort of central key moment, right? And so if you apply the averages, and again, these are just averages, they're by no means predictions. Okay, so I just want to qualify that. We took these and we applied it to the price of Bitcoin. And if you go to the next page, you start to see what could happen if you just take the average of the last few cycles. So because the first cycle was so extreme, and you start to...
so you're just doing cycle 2 and 3 here, to be clear.
Just the averages of cycle 2 and 3, and what you start to see is some really meaningful appreciation. And when I talked to Wences about this, how he explained it, which makes a lot of sense to me, is there are a lot of countries that will never look at Bitcoin credibly, even if they support it. The US may be one of those, but there is an increasing body of countries that will become dual currency. And they will look at their local currency, and then they will look at Bitcoin. And they will say both of these two things are needed. One, when you're transacting on a daily basis for random goods and services. And 2, when you need to buy a permanent asset that needs to have residual value, you'll use something like BTC. And I think that's a very powerful concept. And if you look at what this price chart could indicate, is that if this thing starts to get to these levels of appreciation, it is going to completely replace gold and start to become something that has transactional utility for hard assets. And I think if you marry that with this worry that some folks have about dollar debasement, you start to see some really interesting opportunities.
The consistent accumulation of Bitcoin by whales suggests a bullish outlook for the asset's price in the coming month. Large holders continue to buy and hold significant amounts of Bitcoin, reducing the available supply on the market. The decreased supply, combined with steady demand from institutional investors due to ETF approvals and retail buying pressure from short-term holders, creates upward pressure on the price. Bitcoin's price could stabilize or even increase if the current accumulation trend continues. Whales are demonstrating confidence by holding their positions. The chart from CryptoQuant shows that wallets holding between 100 to 10,000 BTC have consistently accumulated and reached new all-time highs in supply held. Despite minor fluctuations and occasional profit-taking during peak prices, these medium-sized holders keep adding to their Bitcoin stacks. This accumulation pattern indicates a strong belief in Bitcoin's future value among whales, as they continue to buy more BTC even during market volatility. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Seller. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.